Two regulars in the Newburgh Armory, Avendano Francisco and Jhaydon Allier, look to put on a show the only way they know how, with constant forward pressure and great boxing. And with both coming off a loss in this building as well, we stand to see one of these gentlemen right their wrongs and get into winning ways. Jhaydon Allier, 0-2, fighting out of Bronx Combat, is, what can I say about him? He's improved every single fight. Every fight I've had the privilege of calling of his, he's looked better, right? The last fight, he didn't get the nod, right? But his boxing looked more clean, more technical. He looked faster. He looked more comfortable in there. Every fight we see from him, he has improved in some facet. Now, I reached out for comment. He did not, I should say I extended my offer for a comment. He didn't say anything back, but I can only imagine that he has brought something in here that he has improved upon for tonight's 205-pound Muay Thai bout. 3 2-minute rounds, and this is going to be an interesting one. Another interesting tidbit about Jhaydon Allier, he has quite the following online. He does, I think, a radio show, and it's tough to tell, but I know he's very active in the jiu-jitsu world as well. Avendano Francisco, 1-1, fighting out of Team Savage under coach Randall Israel Rowe. His last time out had the assignment of fighting Master Chief Jordan Bartlett, so by no stretch an easy opponent, and by no way a litmus, or by no means a litmus test of what we should expect from this athlete. I think tonight he really wants to showcase his ability to this crowd. He's a fantastic boxer. I haven't seen a lot of kickboxing out of him in his last fights, but he will stay in a fight. He is extremely scrappy. Again, we mentioned the fight against Jordan Bartlett. He was getting lit up, quite frankly, but he never once took his foot off the gas, was always firing back. Of course, the ref had to stop it because he was taking too many unanswered shots, but it was not for a lack of trying or for him giving up that fight was stopped. So he wants to right his wrongs here. Let's see if he can do it. One man will have to walk out of here with a newly renewed win on their record. Can it be Avendano? We will have to see. Or Avendano, excuse me. We will have to see. Here we go as he makes his way now to the cage. Very cool, calm, collected. As with a lot of the athletes tonight. I've said that a lot. Let's throw it over to Mike Falvo in the cage to introduce these fighters.
The action continues on the card for Illyrian Fight Night with our upcoming contest, a Muay Thai contest scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds at 205 pounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Bronx Combat, Jhaydon Allier. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, representing Team Savage, Avendano Francisco.
I'm so excited for this one.
The man
JP Zuniga. I mean, you could point to any of these referees, man, and they're all consummate professionals, veterans, but JP has the assignment for this heavyweight matchup. Here we go. And immediately you notice the size difference. Oh! Allier immediately clinches up after dropping down some nice combinations. And you could see the size and the strength difference. JP getting himself in the way there of a knee. Francisco, though, used to fighting at this type of disadvantage. They crash against, I'm right beneath them right now. Those are two big dudes, man. But he is used to fighting at a disadvantage in this area. Allier taking the most that he can out of this mismatch. Dropping down a lot of knees. Those knees to the breadbasket obviously are going to be money for later. But right now, looking like he wants to finish this fight. course, fight-ending potential lie in both these guys. Nice shot over the top by Allier. And consistently has been landing that cross. Big knees, big uppercuts, all in the clinch. And Francisco's getting shelled on right now. This is exactly what happened in the Master Chief fight. He needs to start firing back. There you go. But a big cross lands again by Allier. And I heard some sort of a snap there. I don't know if a knee landed on the arm of Francisco, but I heard a small crack. I don't know quite what that was. Nice shots over the top by Francisco. His hometown fans making themselves heard, trying to rally their fighter to a win. But Allier has just been too much physically. And if you don't have to sit and box with him, why should you? Smart game plan by Allier, who's been framing Francisco up a lot for that cross. And what an opening round. And safe to say, an opening round that's going to go the way of Allier. So I think now the question becomes, and we see the corners of both men. There you go. Allier taking a little seat. Can Francisco gain the respect back of Allier? Because if he can't, this fight's going to continue to go downhill in the favor of Allier, both, I should say, physically and momentum-wise, because Allier, to put it candidly, has been controlling this fight. Both in the spatial department and in the physical department. Francisco's got to drop a big shot here. See his corner. It looks like they're calling for Avendano to slip the uppercut by rolling the shoulder. But when he's already in the clinch, maybe they're calling for him to kind of angle out. Not quite sure, but let's see if he can do something here in round number 2. That's a picture of intensity, too, on Jhaydon Allier's face. Oh, big head kick. Almost lands. Good shot by Francisco. He lands shots of his own. Nice knees again. Allier goes back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going back to those knees. And you know what? When he goes in for those crosses, oh, that's what his corner was calling for. It's uppercuts up the middle. I'm going to say if Allier wants to feint that cross, he has a fantastic head kick opening there, because every single time Francisco has ducked his head off. Like right there. You could maybe throw a feinted cross and a switch head kick. And we could see the third not consecutive, but the third head kick of tonight, the head kick finish. Easier said than done, though. Nice head kick lands for Francisco. Allier again, piloting him over to the side. Nice front kick lands for Allier there, and he has just been teeing off. Francisco, to his credit, trying to answer back, but it's tough. It's tough. He's at such a height, and it almost seems like a size disadvantage, too. Both these guys weighed in at 205 pounds, but you could see the difference just in how thick both of them are. Nice shots from Francisco. Allier takes a couple, shakes him off, throws across. Now they're in the clinch position. Reset. Nice leg kick out of Allier. Triples up on it. And Francisco's just trying right now. I mean, listen, if he can continue to do this, the rule set does favor moving forward, pressing, doing damage, right? If he can just get some respect back and get Allier on the back foot. Might be too little too late now. I don't know if he's down 2 rounds. I think if you really want to be charitable, you can have it at 1-1, but in all estimation, it's probably 2-0 in favor of the Bronx Combat native, Jhaydon Allier. And a pretty packed house here at the Newburgh Armory. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Cooperman. Going solo tonight. Flying solo. Fun night of fights. It's been an interesting smorgasbord of different finishes, but nothing that hasn't been entertaining, and that's the RFC brand. Here we go. Avendano Francisco looks to be ready for this third round. He has a big test ahead of him. He wears the burden of trying to go for a finish in all eventuality. Nice uppercut, leaning away there by Francisco. And he's putting on the pressure here. Allier just more clinching, more knees. And it's almost like Francisco tries and successfully for a few moments is able to get away from that clinch of Allier, but then Allier just comes back in and just muscles him in. More knees. Francisco needs a huge shot here to finish this fight. Allier almost had the back for a second there. If this was jiu-jitsu, Francisco would have been in trouble. Nice connections by both men. Oh, big head kick lands for Francisco. And if he wants to finish this fight, that's one way to do it. 56 seconds left. Let's see if the mountain will be too steep to climb for one Francisco, or Avendano Francisco, excuse me. Allier hitting it with more volume. 1-2s mostly. 30 seconds left in the third. And like we talked about, Francisco almost never out of a fight. You see here, down on the scorecard, still always going for that finish. Never once took his foot off the gas this fight. Axe kick attempt. And a nice shot again landed by Allier. And with that flurry of punches, we will take it to the judges' scorecards. And what an entertaining fight it's been. We will throw it over to Mike Falvo in the cage in a moment with your official decision.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for these two great fighters? After 3 hard-fought rounds of Muay Thai action, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 3 judges have scored the fight in favor for your winner by way of unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, Jhaydon Allier.
Jhaydon Allier able to get it done. And what a fantastic performance. Hopefully a way to get his ship righted in the right direction. But in no way was Avendano Francisco ever out of that fight, and that's one of the things we absolutely adore about him. About halfway through here, folks. I believe that was bout number 11. So we got about 9 left here. This night's been flying by.